Thank you, and hello everyone. Welcome to the presentation of the Innovator in IP Rights and Technology Award. I am Nick Jample. I am a media and entertainment partner in the Los Angeles office of Davis Wright Tremaine. I provide counseling and litigation services for all forms of content, movies, books, TV series, podcasts, websites, digital, any sort of content. We work on it, but we're not here to talk about me. We are here to talk to the winner of the IP Rights and Technology Award, Scott Gelin, Director of Global IP Enforcement at Apple. So Scott, congratulations on the award. I am virtually presenting it to you. I don't have it. I don't know where you are, but congratulations.
Yeah, thanks so much, and thanks everyone. I've been really looking forward to being with everyone in March, but you know the circumstances that have happened. So really honored and pleased to accept this award virtually, and great to talk with you, Nick.
Yeah, and in that vein, we had some questions for you because we didn't want to let you off too easily. So thought maybe we could start with you introducing yourself, talk about what you do at Apple, what your team does at Apple, and just give us some background for the work that you do.
Sure thing. Yeah, so my role, I head up our IP enforcement program, and it's a global program. And what we do is we do everything we can to combat the production, the distribution, and the sale of fake Apple products. And not just fake Apple products, but also fake services like pirated content of our new Apple TV Plus content, fake stores, fake websites, so all things fake. So we have a team that spans 8 different foreign offices outside of Silicon Valley, and every year we work with law enforcement and customs in more than 100 countries, and really try to help them do everything they can to stop the distribution of fake Apple products.
And so obviously this year has been a little different than other years and a little bit of a challenge, I would assume. In terms of COVID specifically, how has a global pandemic affected you and how you do your job, how your team does their job?
Yeah, it's been a really strange and challenging year, obviously for everyone, but in my world, the way that we have gone out and enforced is just radically changed. And so earlier in the year, the folks who were on the ground in Greater China, they were the ones that were sheltering at home, and the offises were shut down, and now the rest of the world is, with some exceptions, is by and large working from home, and they've been back to work for quite some time. And the big thing that we've had to do differently is so much of kind of what we would do is go out and visit ports and visit with law enforcement and train them and show them what counterfeit Apple products look like. And then, when they did, and when they do criminal enforcements, be there kind of waiting in the wings for them to show us potentially fake products, and we can do real-time ID and confirm to them that something's counterfeit. So that's all impossible now given COVID. So much of this is virtual. So we've started to do virtual trainings, there is this element of tactile face-to-face that you really can't replace. But being able to train virtually also allows us to train more officers than ever before. So this year we're actually going to train more customs and law enforcement officers than we ever have because of the benefits of doing this virtually. And then with product ID, we can't be on site, and so much of this is done via chat, pictures, videos, kind of real-time ID. Like a good example of this is we supported law enforcement in Durban, South Africa a couple weeks ago, and all of our product ID was done virtually, but we were still able to tell that everything that they had detained was counterfeit. So it still works, but it's just much more of a challenge.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because I've experienced certain things that we've done during the pandemic where we do it virtually and people stop and think to themselves, oh, well, maybe this is something we should do. Do you see any of the kind of the virtual aspects of this continuing even when you can go back in person?
Absolutely, yeah. The same thing, like, we thought that it wasn't possible. We found all of these workarounds, and so hopefully when this ends soon, we will be able to take kind of the best things that we were doing virtually and marry those up to the importance of really being face to face.
Right. Okay. So we talked about a little bit how you and your team are shifting and evolving in this climate. Flipping that around, how are counterfeiters and the people and institutions that you're looking for, how are they changing what they do?
Yeah, it's radically shifted as well. And the biggest change that we've seen is just online. I shop, all of our grocery shopping is online. I've shopped online, more than ever before. I think everyone else has a similar experience. And so that's where there's even more counterfeits than ever before. So over the last 10, 20 years, as e-commerce has grown, there's been this major shift of counterfeit products being sold with brick and mortar to online. And COVID has just really, really accelerated that to proportions that we've never seen before.
And so in terms of that online counterfeiting, what sorts of forms, or can you give us any examples of what that really looks like?
Yeah, it's one of the big areas of focus for us is online marketplaces. And the one really pernicious type of counterfeits, and I'm sure that many of the rights owners in the audience have similar feelings, are things that are being sold as genuine Apple products, but they're not. And the thing about selling things online is it's very easy to pass fakes off as the real thing. You're online, you're not seeing the
Right.
product, you're not face to face. Oftentimes the seller is completely anonymous, and you use Apple marketing images. You say that this is a genuine product. It's not, it's not like a $10 Rolex watch. It's something that's within the ballpark of a reasonable price range. And by and large, we do thousands of undercover test buys a year, and by and large, we see that on many marketplaces, it's all fake. So things that are being passed off as genuine Apple products are actually fake, and it makes it very easy to do this online. So there's been this big groundswell, and really gratified to see that a lot of governments are now taking this even more seriously. There's lots of different task forces in China and in Europe, in the United States, about really recognizing this, that consumers are being harmed when they think they're buying something that's genuine online. It's not. And they're the ones that really suffer. And so there's more awareness about this than ever before, but it's still a huge problem. So that's really one type of counterfeit. And then there's another type that's more, fake on its face, and particularly something that would be a knockoff. So it looks exactly like an Apple product. A good example of that is AirPods. So we just see just legions of offers for things that look identical to AirPods, but they're not being sold as genuine Apple branded AirPods. They're being sold as a substitute that is being touted as being just as good for a fraction of the price. And so that's a little bit of a different enforcement strategy.
Got it. And so when you're facing all of these kind of evolving threats, and the online marketplaces are, these are booming, when it comes time to take action and you need to put together a team to help you do that, how do you put that team together? What are you looking for? How do you get them to do the things that you need to do at Apple?
Yeah, that's a great question. And one of the things that our team is just amazing, and I've never worked with a collection of folks who are just so expert in their fields, and we really have a diverse group of attorneys, analysts, former customs and law enforcement officials, and it's really different skill sets working together. Because there's no one silver bullet to stop counterfeiting. You can't bring civil litigation and end counterfeiting. You can't, get law enforcement. It's really great when law enforcement brings criminal actions and busts factories and major distributors, but that can't be the only thing. Similar with customs, we want customs to stop as much as they can, but that can't be everything. So it's really important to have a group that with different skill sets and all working together. and being flexible and thinking about, where are the biggest problems for Apple and where can we make the most impact.
And so the bringing it back to the award you're winning, it's for innovation and IP rights and technology. What does it mean to be innovative in this area, and how do you keep innovating so that you can keep up with the pace of counterfeiting?
Yeah, it's funny because the innovation a lot of times happens on the counterfeiter side, and we often think, if only these people would put their mind at something more productive than trying to sell people fake Apple products, the world would be a much better place. So everything that we do and every change that we make, unfortunately, counterfeiters don't just kind of say, okay, Apple, you caught me, we're gonna stop and cease forever. They basically change tactics, and so we are constantly trying to figure out what's the next wave. What are the counterfeiters going to do next? How are they going to make fakes different to evade what we're doing now? So there's this cycle where they're constantly innovating, and we have to constantly innovate to keep up with them. Like one thing that we've seen explode since COVID-19 is the rise of social media influencers to hawk primarily fake AirPods. And it's something that just wasn't even on our radar screen, 6 months ago. And over the course of one weekend in May, it was a Memorial Day, a US holiday, both Jenner sisters, who have a collective following of 300 million people, both of them hawked and pointed their followers to standalone websites selling fake AirPods. And you can imagine what kind of weekend we had when those hit, but we were able to really get all of this down and get it contained. But that's just this phenomenon that we hadn't even had visibility into. And since then we've seen these kind of flash influencer campaigns that are just massive, and they go up and they come down, and that's something that we just hadn't seen before.
And so, taking out your crystal ball, what do you see coming down the pike in the next 3, 5, 10 years? Any time horizon that you select?
Yeah.
What do you think's coming in terms of the threats that you're seeing and the kind of the steps that you all will be taking to combat those?
It's online. It's only going to get bigger. We've all seen this massive shift to online, and it's only going to get bigger with the distribution of counterfeits. And so that's the thing that I feel most certain about is that growth. And then social media, I think, as social media develops, I think you're going to always see this kind of way, whatever the new tool is, okay, how can we use that to sell fake Apple products and deceive consumers? So there's always going to be these kind of twists there. And but I'm also seeing a lot more government push and awareness behind the need to stop counterfeits, particularly the ones where consumers are buying something online, they have no idea that it's fake, and they're being harmed. And so I'm also seeing a lot more awareness about that, and a lot more, real serious conversations between all of the people who would have a stake in this. It would be the rights owners, the owners of online marketplaces, shippers, government, law enforcement, and really all coming together and thinking of sensible solutions. So I'm really optimistic about that as well.
Well, that's great. So Scott, that's all I got for you. Thanks so much for taking the time. Congratulations on the Innovator in IP Rights and Technology Award, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks so much, Nick. Do you want to try a virtual high five?
Over here.
Oh,
works on my screen.
Okay.
Yep, over there. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.